Hey gang, welcome to Your Marriage Matters with Jim and Christie Jacobus. This podcast is dedicated to couples that are engaged to be married or that are seriously dating and discussing the possibility of getting married. Each episode is designed to guide you in a fun and exciting way through an important conversation every couple needs to have before they tie the knot. Our goal is to help you lay the foundation of building the marriage and life you both have always dreamed of. Welcome to Your Marriage Matters with Jim and Christie Jacobus.
Hey there, gang. It's Jim.
And Christie.
Jacobus with Your Marriage Matters podcast number 93. And babe, we have got a great recording location today.
Yes, we do. We are in a beautiful park in Lake Texana. And if you hear the nature out around us, or big Class A's are coming right by us too.
Yeah. Or maybe some kids screaming and yelling, having a great time.
Or those ever-present mockingbirds.
Yeah, that are diving at our heads as we're doing the recording. Yeah, gang, we are, as Christy said, at Lake Texana Campground in RV Park. And this is, I think, a really good foretelling of things to come, babe. As you guys may know, if you're new with us, you may not know. So if you're new with us, welcome. Glad to have you here. And I'm going to share with you a cool story here in just a second. For those of you who've been around for a while, you know our story in that we bought our first trailer a year ago on Valentine's Day and fell in love with camping and all that kind of stuff. And then long story short, we bought a brand new Grand Design Momentum 399 toy hauler, and we are sitting on the porch of that. We are selling everything we own. Pretty much.
Not everything.
Most everything we own here in the next couple of months, we'll be selling our house, and then we're going to go live in this thing full time. So you're going to see us doing a lot of recording. And when I say see us, babe, we're going to start recording these using video and cranking up a YouTube channel as well as using the audio from those videos for the podcast. How you feeling about that?
Anybody who knows me knows the thought of video is not my favorite.
But, I mean, you enjoyed the Cupid challenge, right?
It was good.
You always stop short of going, yeah, no, you were fantastic in that. You know that. It was great. You did a great job.
Thanks.
So anyway, gang, we are literally recording the day after Valentine's Day, which was our 33rd wedding anniversary. And a year ago, we bought our first trailer. So Valentine's Day means a great deal to us. We had an awesome dinner last night. Sat up by the fireplace and just kind of reminisced and loved every minute of it. So today we're recording literally outdoors right behind our toy hauler. And like I said, I hope you enjoy the sound of the birds and stuff like that. So, babe, we just wrapped up the Cupid challenge and we did 14 words in there. And next week we're going to talk about maybe some of the words we did not get to. But this week I wanted to know, or I wanted to share with our readers, our listeners, what words did you like the most? Which words do you felt like had the most impact? Not just to our people listening out there, but to us as we were doing them. What words did you like?
Well, I think the two that came to mind for me were love as one. Yeah. Of course, we're doing the Cupid challenge. It's around Valentine's Day. It's the whole concept that love is an action. It's not just a feeling. It's something you do for another person. So love is always going to be, top of my list, is reminding couples you really do have to show each other love and kindness. And so it's always going to be that I think love is so crucial in a relationship and a marriage. Does love change over years? Of course it
Absolutely,
does. It
yeah.
looks different. It feels different. As Dr. Gary Chapman says, it's not always the tingles. It's more of that feeling that you can trust and just be around another person. Which brings me to the second word, which is intimacy, where you really know another person and you're known by them. And a lot of times people will think intimacy is the same thing as sex, which is a component of it. But I think intimacy is so very crucial in a relationship. And it's one of the foundational things, as Dr. Sternberg said, it's love, intimacy, in his triangle commitment.
Right.
But intimacy, I think, is so important because it's being known by another person, really known. If you're transparent, so that the other person is really aware of who you are, not just who you appear to the outside world.
Well, one of the things I like about that, and we talk a lot about intentionality and focus and learn, all that kind of stuff. And you talk about, Chapman talks about the tingles is kind of what you have for the first, year or two or whatever. And I think a lot of times when that goes away, couples are like going, wait a minute, where'd that go? That's why I got married, or that's why I dated, or whatever. Well, I got some good news for them, is that the tingles come back. Mm-hmm. And to me, they're not the same, childish, physical, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with those. They're perfectly fine because that's what got us connected in the first place. But there's a different kind of tingle. I mean, just in the last couple of days, things we've done together, things we've discussed, there's a different kind of tingle, and it's far more powerful than any of those tingles that we might have noticed in those first couple of years. And those are never going to come back again because I've made the dedication to one person.
Right. But
the tingles come to me because I can be who I am. Mm-hmm. And I know that you're going to love me no matter how dorky I am or no matter how goofy I am. And you're going to love me through the ups and downs. You're going to love me through the pluses and minuses. I posted a little bit yesterday. You love me, through when I was sick, and I'm going through broken body parts. I mean, that creates a deep, rich tingle to me. And so I totally love those two words that you picked out there.
Yeah. So what would you think were your top two words?
One of them is not going to be a big surprise, but maybe how I attack it's going to be a surprise. But the one I wrote down first was team and how important team is. A buddy of mine posted on Facebook the other day, what's the number one cause for divorce? And he has a large following, so there were tons of responses: communication, conflict resolution, money, sex, all of those things that you think would be a part of it would be the words that I think most people think. And I think they come up because that's why they got a divorce, or maybe why they saw other people get a divorce. And typically my response would be communication or conflict resolution, because we both think that's powerful or critical in a successful marriage. But I really got to thinking about it, and I thought about this word team that we just did in the Cupid challenge. And the whole team idea is that we, all right, Team Jacobus, has got to be more important than me, Jim. Now, it doesn't mean that Jim isn't important. It's just that the team is more important. And I think when we decide we is more important than me, then we are willing to learn and grow and go through some difficult things and times in order to make sure that the we is as strong as it possibly can be. So I thought that word team was certainly one of the ones I like best. And then I wrote down the word sex.
Now that's not surprising.
Surprise, huh? Woo! Big surprise. No, I wrote down sex, and I wrote it down because not of the physical act, the enjoyment, all that, and those are amazing. There's no question about that. But I wrote down sex because the way we talked about it was more around intentionality, learning and growing. I mean, we talked about two great books, Red Hot Monogamy and Sheet Music. And by the way, we put a link in the Cupid Challenge for you there. Those are two great books. And if you struggle with sex, I think it's a lot of times like anything else we struggle with. We may not know enough about it. We may have some preconceived challenges or problems. We may have been raised to think sex was not, beautiful or amazing. We may have had a bad experience around it. And so I think why I think that word is so important is sex is critical to a happy marriage. We tell people all the time, women need to feel loved to make love, and men need to make love to feel loved. Mm-hmm. And both of those mean we have to give in, all right? In other words, I want to make you feel loved, so you want to make love, and then you want to make love, and then that makes me feel loved. And so that's an intentional act in and of itself. And the cool thing is, I read Dr. Lehman's book, Sheet Music, and I fancy myself quite the lover, as you would agree. But there was so much in that book I was going, wow, that's cool. Oh my gosh, I hadn't thought about that. And even if it didn't apply to us, learning more about it really meant a lot to me. So my second word is sex. And again, more about the intentionality. And gang, if you struggle in that area, either guy, gal, or both of you together, grab those books or grab another book if you want to, but become intentional about getting better at that. So I love the word team and I love the word sex. Those were my two. So I know we both have done this. You held back one word that was your favorite. Right. What was your favorite out of the 14?
Well, it's funny because the favorite concept, it wasn't necessarily the favorite word, but the favorite concept that I had related to the word woo. I didn't want to be a woo girl, but I like the word that means pursue or chase
Yeah.
or make the other person feel special, just like we did when we were dating.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times there's so much energy and emphasis about the relationship that can get lost when we get comfortable. And for a lot of couples, they struggle with, why don't you keep trying to chase me? You know, once the chase is over, doesn't mean that people don't want to feel like they're being pursued. So while I didn't like the word woo,
You've added a new word to your vocabulary, though.
I do like the concept of pursue or chase.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about for you?
I like the word woo, actually. I think that is a great old school term of pursuit. You know, for me, I think, again, we kind of started off in this area. I believe it was day one, if I'm not mistaken. If not, it was at least day two. And it's what we're both talking about through this whole thing, and it's the word grow. Mm-hmm. And definitely. That you and I both are committed to a number of things, but the one thing we're both committed to that adds up to intimacy, love, to team, to sex, to woo, is the word grow, and that means that you and I both are committed to becoming the best version of ourselves. What I like about that a lot is that we're both committed to doing that, whether the other one does or not. In other words, I know you want to do that for yourself. You're not saying, I'm going to do this if you do it. No, I want to be the best version of myself. I want to be the best version of myself, and we're both committed to making sure our marriage is the best version of what it can be. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we're both willing to grow and learn and get better at and read books like Layman's and Red Hot Monogamy and all of the books we have. I mean, you're sitting there with a book in your hand right now that is a devotional book that we enjoy doing devotionals together. So I think for me, the word that kind of covers all of that is the word grow. And gang, I guarantee you, as long as you're learning, you're living, the moment you stop learning is the moment you start to die and that your marriage will start to die. And so we really encourage you to become intentional about growth and about things like that. So, babe, the Cupid Challenge is done. No more videos for a while.
Cupid Challenge 2020 is in the books.
Yeah, and again, I had a blast doing it, and we really reached a lot of people too. So.
Yeah, and if you want to go back and see any of the days of the challenge, just because the lead up to Valentine's Day is over, you can still continue to think through what can you intentionally do for your relationship that would make an impact. Some of these might have been something you're already doing a great job of, and you didn't really need to challenge yourself. Some of them might have been difficult because, asking somebody to write a love letter, could be something that really they struggled with, but it could be any of the things that we do on a daily basis that makes our partner or anybody around us feel loved and special.
So, gang, the Cupid Challenge 2020 is in the books. It is over and done with, babe. No more videos for a while. You good with that?
I'm good with that.
Oh, come on, man. You did a great job of that. I will say this, though, gang. We will leave the Cupid Challenge 2020 Facebook page up. But I am going to encourage you all. As a matter of fact, I'll go in there and send some notes to everybody for you to go join us on the Your Marriage Matters Facebook group and continue to follow us there. For those of you who signed up by email, I'm going to send out another email with a link to a page that's going to have all 14 challenges on it. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up, a lot of fun things to do. Babe, some of these audios and videos are going to be recorded in some amazing places, although one of the things we found out doing this is every one of these places has something amazing to it. So thanks for listening, gang. We really appreciate you, babe. Thanks for all your hard work. I love you. I adore you. Happy anniversary. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy trailerversary. And happy day one of year 34. I love you. I adore you. I think you're amazing.
I love you too.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Your Marriage Matters with the Jacobuses. If you have any questions you would like to see us answer or an idea for a future episode, please go to www.yourmarriage-matters.com/QIF and let us know. We will do our very best to make it happen. And if you enjoyed the podcast, we encourage you to share it with your friends that are engaged or seriously dating. We are growing like crazy because you are passing it on. So thank you. That's it for today. We'll see you next week on Your Marriage Matters. Have a great conversation this week.